You have a great relationship with the guys at XO and the Weeknd.
Yeah.
What is it like hanging out with somebody who is so, you know, to the fans, kind of mysterious and not out there? Like the Weeknd is somebody who, if you're around him, he's just a normal guy, but like he's definitely not that if you just consume his content. He's a very mysterious guy, and I think he's probably going to get out of that soon with the show coming out and all that.
Yeah.
But
He's a really nice dude, man.
yeah.
Like, just really impressed with his character, as I am with J. Cole. Like,
Cole's the best.
Character, man. Like, as famous as they are, you kind of like watch them from afar, and you're like, yo, that's a good dude, man. You know, gives people their attention. You can only imagine that he's getting pulled in several directions. I've seen Abel at, you know, family functions, you know, with the XO team. Like, wow, he's here. And he's engaged. It's not, I mean, engaged in terms of he's engaging in conversation. He's not on his phone,
Right.
you know, saying, I'll look up and he's playing with my son. And
Right.
I mean, that to me is what really sets them apart. Like, they're just good human beings, man. I enjoy being in their company.
100%. The one thing I want to kind of break down is the science on why the number one complaint I've been getting from listeners, and you've been getting from listeners your whole career. Why is it every time I hear the fucking radio, it's the same fucking 10 songs? Now, there is a science to this, but I'm sure that's been the feedback for however many years. You guys play the same shit. You guys play the same shit.
Yeah.
Break down from Doc Wynter the science of why a radio playlist is very tight and why you might hear 5 or 6 songs over and over again if you listen all day driving an Uber or something.
I like to use the analogy of a nightclub. Our job is to retain listeners, right? Let's say if you were at a nightclub and the DJ decided he wanted to go off on a rant and play, 30 minutes of Frank Sinatra or whatever.
Clear the dance floor.
Clear the dance floor. They'd probably stay and wait until he came back to his senses. Doesn't happen in radio.
They go find the other.
They go. They may not come back. I've actually been in a car, and not in the case of playing bad music, but a very long commercial break, and saw this Uber driver listening to us, go to the competition. Obviously, he preferred us. Come back. We were still playing commercials, and I could see his anger. Like, damn. I'm gonna go back there instead because, and what retains them is a record that they like, that they can sing, not necessarily something they've never heard.
Right. I think so. I always tell people it's like the average radio listener is how many minutes a day?
Might be 10, 15 minutes.
So if you think about it through that lens, we talked about PPM. The meters are like people get paid to wear these little pagers, and it tracks their real time listening. So it's like you're hoping to play something to keep somebody around in that 10-minute window that they happen to listen.
Yep.
So the research and data on how you come up with what the 5 powers are, what all goes into that?
Probably the most important thing is who you're going to ask. Do you like this record? Who's your screen is what they call. It might be 18 to 34-year-old women. It could be 18 to 34-year-old men. It could be 18 to 34-year-old black women, 18 to 34-year-old Latino women.
And as a programmer, you got to know what you're targeting.
You got to know what moves the needle in your market.
For your demo.
18 to 34 Latino females who listen to radio 3 hours. You can get that granular with it. And then you begin to understand, what moves the needle for them. The more you listen to, more you do research, and the more you ask the right questions, you get a sense of, okay, like this is what moves the needle for them. And then you give people what they want to keep coming back. You ever go to a restaurant and all of a sudden they tell you, "Oh, we stopped making your favorite meal."
It just happened to me.
Making my favorite meal. Why? Yeah, we got bored with it.
It just happened.
Come on, man. Yeah. So, that's the science, and again, it can be frustrating for people, but again,
and there's a bunch of factors, right? You'll have like call out, which is where you're pretty much kind of how would you describe call out for a radio station?
You call out to people that fit the screen, and you play hooks of songs. You ask,
what do you think of this song? What do you think of this song?
Yeah,
you'll see streaming data for the market.
Yeah,
you check Shazam.
So,
and then there's also the M scores, which is that something you guys, you obviously M scores is like,
I look at it, but you know, somebody could have turned a song off. You don't really know what the reason is, and that's what the switching score is. Someone turned off the song, or a number of people turned off the song while it was playing. And sometimes you can look at the song and say, okay, you see other factors that contribute to, you know, it might be the wrong time of day you played the song. You might just be tired of it.
right.
Rest it and then test it again is what we like to say. But